Hello and welcome to the Top Bins Fantasy Premier League review. We've got Darren in the studio this week and he's going to be taking a few questions from myself and Dave on some of his more questionable picks from his fantasy league team. He's had a bit of a shocker. He's sitting bottom of the Top Bins Fantasy League this week, but plenty of time to turn that around, Daz.
Yeah, early days.
Yeah, early days, mate. And like we said to Dave last week, there's only way was up when you're at the bottom, and Dave's ended up having a very decent week this week and climbing up 3 or 4 places. So without any further ado, let's get into it. Let's have a look at the team. I mean, I'm going to start on your captain choice this week, mate. I know he's been on a rich vein of form up until this week.
He has.
Richarlison.
Look, it's a quality captain pick.
How did you feel about that when you saw him get a red card?
To be honest, I've had a bad thing from the start. It's been everything that I've gone with has not worked from day one. I put Otamendi in there. Yeah. He was in the Premier League team of the season. Yeah. Won the league, record points. He's not kicked the ball yet. Yeah. I put Sane in, young player of the season, PFA young player of the year. He's played
rested at the World Cup as well. No World Cup. I think he's going to guarantee
3 games gone. He's played 30 minutes, so I had to get rid of them 2 straight away.
Yeah.
Then had injuries. Sanchez, who by all accounts was ripping up in the pre-season, has done nothing and
been sub last couple of games as well. Yeah,
and then he's been playing really well with Chelsea, so I thought I'll do like a weird one because everyone's going Mane, the usual Agueros. I thought I'll try something different. Sent off. So it's just not happening.
I mean, it was crazy as well. The little headbutt was just crazy nonsense.
I'm not even saying
he was doing. It was ridiculous. The horrible thing is that you get a -2.
Was it a straight red?
It was a straight red. You get a -2 for getting a player sent off. Yeah. But when you captain him, the captain normally gets the benefit of double points. Well, you've got the benefit of double minus points on this one.
And then King on the bench.
And then so you've got a -4 then, and you've got King on the bench. Your defence has probably helped you a little bit there, like your keeper and Trippier in particular. Yeah. Trippier did the business, didn't he? Got 11 points. He's
against United. So.
Against United, you're a United fan, so it's probably bittersweet that. But And what are you thinking up top, Zaha and Arnautovic? Are you thinking you're going to keep those 2 in for the upcoming weeks?
Because I've got rid of Otamendi and a few others, I've got a lot of money in the bank, I think. Yeah. So I can potentially now put a Mane or a Salah or someone a bit more, maybe even a Lukaku. I don't know yet.
If Jorginho got points for passes, you'd be top.
I know, of the league. Mate, you'd be top of the league if
he's spraying it about in it.
He'd be creaming it.
Yeah. He's building that Jordan Henderson had 2 seasons ago reputation of he's a great passer sideways and backwards. But I think
like
the
a
best
Carrick never got any points, but he was so important to the team.
Absolutely, I think the best is still to come from.
And look, similar to your team, Dave, last week when we talked about them, there's a lot of promise in this team. I think you've probably spent a bit too much on both your goalies. Like you should pick one of them because you've got De Gea and you've got Alisson. They're both very good keepers and they'll get you points, but you probably don't want to spend the money on both of them.
It was a case of I picked the whole team and I had so much money left over
that you ended up.
I thought I'll have 2 really good.
Treat yourself.
Treat yourself. Exactly what I got roasted for last week.
Yeah. So I mean, look, Aspilicueta or Dave, as they like to call him at Chelsea at the Bridge, he's going to get you points. He's going to get you clean sheets, and he gets forward as well. Like he gets clean sheets, but he also gets assists.
But those 4 are all assists.
Yeah, Trippier, Baines is a set piece taker, takes penalties, so he's going to get points as well. And Walker is going to play week in, week out, and more often than not, he's going to get points.
He should do.
He should do.
Guardiola
didn't play last week.
Although Guardiola does like Walker, and I think he rates him very highly, so I think he will play more often than not. And look, Bernardo Silva is a good choice because pre-season and start of the season, and even the Charity Shield, the Community Shield that we saw at the start of the season, he played. And he played well.
His goal in week 1 was fabulous.
Fabulous goal. I think you've got promising players in there. Even with Zaha and Arnautovic, they are the 2 pivotal players of the team that are going to do the business. So decent to have them in. What are you thinking next week? What are you thinking for this weekend? Are you going to make any changes?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who are you going
to have?
Well, you've already made it. Well, this is it. Off the press. Off the press.
What
have we got?
Gone with 2 changes. I think I put in. Oh, what did I do? I can't remember. I think I put Mane in.
Yeah.
Solid against Leicester.
Yeah, Sadio.
I think I may have even gone 2 Liverpool players to try and jinx them.
Mate, you can't go wrong. They're top of the league at the moment. You can't go wrong. Salah, Mane, Firmino, anyone, even the defenders, even Robertson or someone like that would be a good pick.
This season.
Dave, what would you do with this team? If this was your team right now, what would you be thinking?
Well, the first thing I'd do is exactly what I had to do last week, which is make a decision on one expensive goalkeeper.
Yeah.
I went for Alisson. I don't know what's going on with De Gea. He just doesn't look himself, does he?
But he's also playing behind
the defence.
pile of shit, isn't
that's
he?
it, absolutely. It's like, I agree. And
he's going for me. Well, he has gone.
Sanchez.
Yeah. I brought in Etheridge and saved a bit of money, and he's scoring points.
Yeah.
Because he's just facing so many shots.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love the defence. I think the defence will score points all season.
Yeah, me too. I like that.
My question that I've got this week as well, because I only made one transfer, is Sessegnon.
Yeah.
Fulham played really well on the weekend, but he didn't
get
play.
any points.
So he's the one I'm looking at, and I guess maybe for you, you'd look at Jorginho or Sessegnon. You'd be sooner taking out Sessegnon.
I'm thinking of is it Traore?
Yeah,
nice.
Wolves. Yeah. Just broke into the team this weekend, and he looked. I mean, I watched a lot of the Championship last season, and for Borough, it's just an absolute terror. He is when he fancies it. His pace is frightening. Yeah. So I mean, he's not a bad shout. I don't know how many minutes he's going to get, but when he gets on, he's going to get points.
Well, he looked good this weekend.
He did. He looked very good. He looks really dangerous. He'll trouble all sorts of defences this season if he plays. So not a bad shout there, mate. And look, like I said, I think you got the foundations of a decent team. So I wouldn't be too worried. You're 3 weeks into the season. Yeah. Plenty of football to go. Yeah. Lots of stuff can happen. A lot of the things now are going to be about who you pick for captain each week. That's going to make the big difference when you use your triple captain. Yeah. When you use your bench,
triple captain has never worked.
There's people that have used it already with Aguero last week. They used it and got 60 odd points. But it's probably a better shout to save that for a double game week when you can see someone like an Aguero or Kane or someone who's really influential, gonna play both games and gonna get points. Can get lots of points in those two games.
But Guardiola's the one who always lets you down.
He's the tinker man.
He doesn't play. What are you doing?
Frustrates you. Like you put Sterling last season and he's out the next week. And now, all right. Look, good. Thank you for going over your team with us. I know it's not easy to look at the painful week that you've had.
Worst week ever.
But you're here, mate. You're at the bottom. You've hit it. It's only way up now. Only way up is
just follow me up the league. Yeah, we'll be nipping on his heels in no time.
And so look, Darren, while we've got you on the show this week. We wanted to talk. We know you're a big United fan. Very topical at the moment. Yeah. Looked at Jose losing his rag after the game against Spurs the other day and the press conference. Thoughts on United at the moment? Where's your head at?
How long have you got? I think everyone's jumping on the blame Mourinho, and he does need to take some blame. Yeah. But it's not just Mourinho. The players need to take some blame. Yeah. Ed Woodward needs to take blame. Yeah. The Glazers need to take some blame. Yeah. It's all round. It's everyone. Yeah.
The thing is, right, as well, like we talked about this before, if you get rid of Mourinho, who do you bring in now that is of the proven quality of the Premier League that can do a job for you?
No, he's setting someone up to fail if you replace him. But, I agree completely. I think it's really easy for everyone to bag him, and he's bagged his players, and he's put himself into a position where he's very easy to be targeted. But I agree completely. I think there are problems at the club.
Yeah, there are, for sure. Yeah. So what would you change if you were United manager right now? What would you change, mate?
What needs to change is, and I think some people who aren't United fans will maybe laugh at this, but they're not spending the money they need to spend. Because when Guardiola came into City, who had a better squad than United already, he'd been the keeper, then he'd been the next keeper, and then he'd been Cliche and Sanya and Kolarov and about 8-9 defenders. You just cleared them all.
Got rid of
We still got Young. We still got Smalling, Jones, Valencia, Darmian. They're all rubbish. Yeah, they should have been gone 4 years ago.
How he's had to put Jones in this week. I think he's the worst centre back of the lot. I think he's put him because he obviously Bay and Lindelof had a shocker last week against Brighton. Yeah. So he's tried to put Jones in this week and mix up with Jones and Smalling. Yeah. Jones looks the worst of the lot, to be honest.
Bay and Smalling looks to be the
I think Bay and Smalling at the moment is the best you can do.
He was adamant he wanted a centre-back. He wanted Maguire or Alderweireld, and the club would not pay what they needed to pay.
And Alderweireld, I think, showed him what he's all about against United the other day, didn't he? He looked quality.
The season before, he was adamant he wanted Perisic. Yeah. The club wouldn't pay it. Yeah. He ripped the World Cup up. He got to a World Cup final.
Yeah, that's right.
If you imagine him on the wing putting balls in for Lukaku, it's 2 goals a game. Yeah. But the club are just being so tight-fisted. It's like Glazeronomics. They just won't pay what they need to pay.
Glazeronomics. There you go. There's a new phrase I haven't heard before. That's lovely.
So speaking as a Liverpool fan, you're not going to enjoy that. We've only really just got ourselves into a position where we can spend this kind of money. And the first window we have that kind of money to spend, the prices are ridiculous.
Yeah.
But credit to the owners, they've just said, you want these guys, we can afford it, we'll buy it. And I just don't, what I don't understand is why you give Mourinho a new contract and then not back him in the next window.
Yeah, he's a checkbook manager. If he gets the players he wants, he will mould them to win. Whether it's pretty or not, it's debatable. Yeah. But everywhere he's gone, he's won. Yeah. He wanted Perisic, never got him. He wanted Alderweireld or Maguire, didn't get them. Yeah. He wanted Sandro, didn't get him. Yeah. And now he's forced to play players that Fergie had 5 years ago.
Yeah. And that Fergie left, let's be honest. Yeah. Because he knew that the team was the end of the road. That was the end of it. Yeah. He knew he couldn't do anything with that squad beyond that. Yeah. So it's you got to feel for Mourinho, like, as much as we've all been giving him grief. We've had our first episode was called Roasting Mourinho. Yeah, and we give him grief, and the media giving him grief. But let's be honest, it's not a job that I think many managers envy him for at the moment. No. It is a tough job.
If you look at it, he finished the season second with the second best defence in the entire league. Yeah. And people are raving. I mean, rightly so in some aspects about Liverpool and Tottenham. Yeah. With Jones and Smalling and Darmian, he finished, and Young. Yeah. He finished the season second with the second best defence. Yeah. Yeah. He's a checkbook manager. Let him sign his players, and he might not play the best football, but he will guarantee trophies. Yeah. And people laugh and say, "Oh, well, you signed Pogba for so many hundreds of millions." Mourinho didn't sign Pogba. The club signed Pogba. It was a 2-year deal in the making. Yeah. He was told he was having Pogba, and there's some talk now he was told he was having Sanchez. Yeah, yeah. So he's not even getting to choose who he wants in some aspects, which is just ridiculous. So
it's a tough gig, and I think something's going to give in the next few weeks. I can see another bad result for United. I mean, it's all setting up for Burnley this weekend, looking like another upset. You'll have to catch the preview show coming up later on in the week for that to see what we think about that one. But it could be, Let's
end on a positive, because we have been harsh on United. Yeah. Let's talk about Luke Shaw. Yeah. I mean, here's a guy that, personally, I thought Mourinho had destroyed his career the way he treated him. Yeah. But for whatever reason, it's clicked at the moment. Yeah. He's playing great football.
I think it's all to do with the club saying no to Sandro and paying that money out, and he's thought to himself,
my chance.
It's Young or Shaw who am I going to play? Yeah. Shaw's got in. He's knuckled down in the pre-season, which put him in Mourinho's good books. He lost a few stone. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And he is doing well, and I'm happy for him, because he has got the potential to be one of the best left backs in the world.
Yeah, I think he's decent. I think he's got a lot of bits to work on in his game, and I think fitness is one of them.
It was when he broke his leg break, he was flying.
Yeah, he would have been the best.
He's definitely lost a yard of pace. Like you saw him have at Southampton when he was bombing up and down that flank. But still think he's got a lot of potential. He's 23. He's got a lot of football ahead of him. If he can keep playing, he's only doing himself favours by keeping playing. He's going to get in the England team if he keeps playing like that. And I mean, United, at least it's one bright spot for you boys.
Yeah.
Like we said with the fantasy team, I'm sure with United the only way is up, but maybe that's not true, and you might end up battling it out in mid-table this season.
It might take a season where we finish 6 and it all goes pear-shaped, and there's a massive clear out and a change of ideas, because at the minute it's not working.
Yeah.
Work for Chelsea.
Yeah. Lovely. All right, well, Darren, thank you very much for going through that painful, hopefully cathartic experience of talking through your dream team, your fantasy team, and also about United at the moment. No if you enjoyed this episode, as we did last week, we're always going to pick a left field pick for your fantasy choice, so you can have a think about maybe including them in your team. We had a bit of a shocker with James Maddison last week. I still think he's going to do well this season and get points, but he didn't quite do the business last week. So sorry for anyone who picked him.
You did listen to me, and I was dead last, so
sucked in.
Really.
So this week we're gonna give you another left field pick. This one's maybe not as left field as Maddison was last week, but I still think it's a shout, and I think a lot of people should consider him.
He's
Walcott.
cheap. He's going to have a good week. Yep. He's playing Huddersfield.
Theo, the man. He's been scoring goals, getting assists, causing teams problems. I can't really look beyond him at the moment. He looks like a great pick.
That's right. They're at home. He looks up for it. He's certainly got a goal in him.
Huddersfield look poor as well.
They look terrible. Yeah. And with Richarlison not playing, he's going to be a very important player for them this week, and I think a lot of the play will be built around him.
Yeah, and he showed when Richarlison got sent off early in the game against Bournemouth that even without him on the pitch, he can still do the business. Him and Sigurdsson linked together lovely. They've got a lovely combination, and Tosun up front. Even though Tosun's not going to get him a lot of goals, I don't think. Walcott will link up really nicely with players like that. So that's our shout. Left field pick of the week. Get him in your fantasy team and enjoy all the points. If you enjoyed this episode, give us a like, give us a subscribe. Don't forget to check out our Facebook page, facebook.com/TopBinsFantasy for all the latest updates of what's going on our channel, and make sure to watch some of our previous episodes from previous game weeks and everything that's to come. Thank you very much.
I say walk like they talk like they know.